Sophie Cunningham just broke the internet, and the WNBA will never be the same. What started as a $400 fine turned into a $1 million empire overnight. In less than 7 days, she went from 300,000 TikTok followers to 1.4 million. Her Instagram exploded by over 500,000 new fans. Her jersey sold out until July 8th. And the craziest part, she did it all by grabbing someone by the throat. But here's what nobody's talking about. This wasn't some random act of violence. This was calculated. This was strategic. And according to sources close to the Indiana Fever, this was exactly what head coach Stephanie White wanted when she specifically targeted Cunningham in that 4-team trade back in February. Think about it. You don't accidentally acquire a player nicknamed Spicy Sophie, who earned a black belt at age 6, unless you need someone who can throw hands. Let me paint you a picture of June 17th, 2025. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indiana versus Connecticut. The game's already getting chippy when J.C. Sheldon decides to poke Caitlin Clark directly in the eye. Not a brush, not an accident. A deliberate poke that left Clark wobbling on the court. Minutes later, Marina Mabrey shoves Clark to the ground. The refs? They're playing blind. Technical fouls flying everywhere except where they should be. And that's when Sophie Cunningham decided enough was enough. With 46 seconds left on the clock, Cunningham hunted Sheldon down like a heat-seeking missile. She wrapped her arms around Sheldon's head, yanked her to the hardwood, and when players rushed in to break it up, she grabbed Sheldon's hair and taunted, "Do something!" 3 players ejected, 2 fines issued, and 1 legend was born. Within 24 hours, the transformation was insane. Marketing agency STN Digital calculated that gaining those followers organically would cost a brand over $1 million. Let that sink in. Sophie Cunningham turned a $400 fine into a $1 million social media empire in less time than it takes to ship an Amazon package. Her agents at PRP called it, quote, unprecedented growth that they'd never seen before, even with athletes who'd gone viral for bigger things. But this goes way deeper than numbers. Remember when the Fever traded for Cunningham? General manager Amber Cox said, quote, Sophie is a player that we have targeted for a while, and one that we believe is a perfect fit for the style we want to play. Translation, they knew exactly what they were getting. A guard who averaged 17 points per game at Missouri, someone who literally kicked field goals for her high school football team when their kicker tore his ACL, an enforcer who earned the nickname the Mayor of Columbia for running her college town. Here's where it gets spicy. Open sponsorship data shows that before this incident, Cunningham was charging $10,000 for sponsored posts. Now, with almost 800,000 Instagram followers and 1.4 million on TikTok, industry experts say she can command $40,000 to $70,000 per post minimum. Do the math. That's a 700% increase in her earning potential from one hard foul. Her current sponsors, Adidas and Quest Nutrition, are probably popping champagne right now, and new brands are flooding her inbox faster than she can read them. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Cunningham signed a 1-year, $100,000 contract with Indiana. That's pocket change compared to what she's about to make off the court. One sponsored post now equals almost her entire WNBA salary. 2 posts? She's doubled it. And unlike her basketball contract, there's no salary cap on social media influence. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. For an entire year, we watched Caitlin Clark get pushed, shoved, and targeted while her teammates stood around looking confused. The Phoenix Mercury game where Diana Taurasi hip-checked her? Silence. The Chicago Sky incidents? Cricket sounds. It was like watching someone get bullied at recess while the teachers pretended not to notice. Fans were screaming for someone, anyone, to stand up for their franchise player. Enter Sophie Cunningham. After the ejection, instead of apologizing or backing down, Cunningham leaned into it. She posted a TikTok mouthing the lyrics, "Can't keep my hands to myself, I mean I could, but why would I want to?" That video? 3.1 million views in 21 hours. She turned her fine into a flex, her punishment into a brand. And when reporters asked her about gaining 500,000 followers, she kept it real. You know, it's cool. It's funny what kind of people are attracted to this. I'm just trying to keep the main thing, and that's basketball. Trying to win games, sticking up for my teammates. But my favorite quote came when she explained why she did it. Quote, I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a buildup for a couple years now of them just not protecting the star player of the WNBA. At the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. I'm a team player. No fake apology, no walking it back, Just pure, unfiltered truth. The Connecticut Sun's coach called it, quote, stupid and disrespectful. You know what's really disrespectful? Letting your players poke someone in the eye and thinking there won't be consequences. Sophie Cunningham didn't start that fight, but she sure as hell finished it. And here's what makes this even better. Country music star Alana Springsteen was so inspired, she made a DIY Sophie Cunningham jersey and wore it on stage during Keith Urban's concert in Indiana. She told the crowd, quote, "If you follow me on TikTok, you've seen this jersey. I've been following the Fever craziness. When country stars are making bootleg jerseys of you, you've officially transcended sports." The friendship between Cunningham, Clark, and Lexi Hull has become must-see content. They call themselves Tres Leches. And honestly, it's the best subplot in the WNBA right now. Before the Wings game, cameras caught Clark giving Cunningham a pre-game hug that had fans going wild. These aren't just teammates anymore, they're ride or dies. And in a league where Clark has been targeted since day one, having someone willing to catch a charge for you means everything. Remember, this is the same Sophie Cunningham who compared herself to Sabrina Carpenter opening for Taylor Swift when talking about playing with Caitlin Clark. She said, quote, "Let her be the Taylor Swift and we'll all be right there supporting." Well, turns out Sabrina Carpenter just went platinum too. But let's address the haters real quick. Some people are saying Cunningham's just using Clark for clout. Really? A 6-year WNBA veteran who's played with Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner needs clout? She was already working as an NBA analyst for the Phoenix Suns. She had her own following. What she saw was her teammate getting abused and decided to do something about it. That's not clout chasing. That's called having your teammates back. The numbers don't lie, though. GoFundMe campaigns popped up trying to pay her fine. Fans created compilation videos that hit millions of views. Her Instagram posts are pulling 1,000 likes. Even her random TikToks about game day outfits are going viral. She posted one where she ditched her pants with the caption, "Depends what team you're on," and it broke the internet. The comments? Pure gold. One fan wrote, "That argument would stand up in court." Another said, "You had an excellent game, you're a great defender." What's wild is how this changes everything for the Fever. Before Cunningham's arrival, teams knew they could rough up Clark without consequences. Now, you touch Cece, you answer to Sophie. It's like when the Detroit Pistons had Bill Laimbeer protecting Isaiah Thomas, or when the Bulls had Charles Oakley watching Michael Jordan's back. Every championship team needs an enforcer. The Fever finally found theirs. Coach Stephanie White defended Cunningham after the game, saying, quote, "You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do. And when you allow them to play physical, and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete, and they're going to have their teammates' backs." That's coach speak for, "I'm glad someone finally did something." The business implications are staggering. Cunningham went from making $10,000 per sponsored post to potentially $70,000. That's a $60,000 increase per post. If she does one sponsored post per week, that's an extra $3.1 million per year, all from one flagrant foul. Harvard Business School should teach a class on this, and it's not just about money. Cunningham's given the Fever an identity. Before, they were just Caitlin Clark's team. Now they're the team that fights back, the team with an edge. When Cunningham told reporters, quote, "We are circled on everybody's schedule. No one likes us. Everyone in our locker room, that's the only type of people that we can lean on." She wasn't complaining. She was warning the league. Think about the pressure this team faces. Every arena sells out when they visit. Every game is nationally televised. Every play is dissected on social media. And through it all, they've had to deal with cheap shots, hard fouls, and refs who seem to have selective vision. Cunningham addressed this too, saying, quote, "So far this season, we've had a lot of distractions. Some injuries, don't know who's playing, just a lot of distractions. But I think that's really good for us. That's the mentality of a winner right there. Turn the adversity into fuel. Use the hate as motivation. And most importantly, protect your stars at all costs." The WNBA wanted drama. Sophie Cunningham gave them a blockbuster. Here's what's crazy. Her Wikipedia page had to be updated to include a whole section about being the Fever's enforcer. When your Wikipedia page gets edited because of one play, you've made history. The entry literally says, quote, "Cunningham has earned recognition as the Fever's enforcer after she was ejected from a game against the Connecticut Sun for grabbing JC Sheldon and shoving her to the ground in retribution for Sheldon poking teammate Caitlin Clark in the eye." But this isn't just about one moment. This is about changing the culture of an entire franchise. Last year, the Fever were soft. They let teams punk them. They watched their rookie phenom get abused night after night. This year, different story. Sophie Cunningham drew a line in the sand, and every team in the league got the message loud and clear. The league tried to punish her with fines. Instead, they created a superstar. They wanted to make an example of her. Instead, she became an icon. And the best part? She's just getting started. Her agents are fielding calls from major brands. Her jersey can't stay in stock. Her social media engagement is through the roof. And oh yeah, she can still ball too. 5 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 soul collected in that Connecticut game. Those might not seem like huge numbers until you realize the impact goes way beyond the box score. Since that game, the Fever look different. They play with more confidence. They're not backing down from anybody. And coincidentally or not, they're winning more games. The irony is beautiful. The WNBA has been desperate for more attention, more drama, more storylines that capture mainstream audiences. Well, congratulations, you got it. Sophie Cunningham gave you exactly what you wanted. A villain to some, a hero to others, and must-see TV for everyone. Here's my prediction. This is just the beginning. Cunningham's proven that authenticity sells, that protecting your teammates pays, and that sometimes the best business decision you can make is to keep it real. In a league full of politically correct answers and sanitized personalities, she's the dose of reality fans have been craving. So yeah, the WNBA fined Sophie Cunningham $400. In return, she gained 1 million followers, created a viral moment that will live forever, established herself as one of the most marketable players in the league, and most importantly, sent a message that the days of bullying Caitlin Clark are officially over. The enforcer era is back. Sophie Cunningham is leading it. And if you don't like it, in her own words, do something. Look, whether you think she went too far or not far enough, you can't deny the impact. Sophie Cunningham changed the game in 46 seconds. She turned a fine into a fortune, a foul into fame, and a moment into a movement. The WNBA wanted stars. They just created one. Comment below if you think Sophie did the right thing or if she crossed the line. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about what's really happening in the WNBA. Because trust me, this story is far from over.